Devoid Wrestling Podcast. Devoid Wrestling Podcast. Devoid Wrestling Podcast. Cast it up, Micah and Derek. We'll get ready for something you will have never wanted to know. You sadly saw it coming, but I guess you should know. Devoid Wrestling Podcast.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
And welcome to
episode 3.
Bigger, Badder, Worse.
Bigger, Badder, Better of the Devoid Wrestling Podcast. Now, 3 is a number that's not good enough for big.
Hold on, we can't. We have to restart. There's shit in the way, and it looks bad.
Oh, okay.
But I'm actually gonna start. I'm gonna set a timer too, like stopwatch. Yeah. All right. Hi.
Hello.
And welcome to Specifically Devoid's Wrestling Podcast.
Episode 3.
Specifically Wrestling Cast. What are we calling this one?
We'll figure it out.
No, like the name of the podcast, not like Devoid Wrestling Podcast. I got it. I didn't come up with the name. Derek's come up with all of the names of our podcasts.
So 3 is a number that's interesting because we're still not good enough for Big E, circa NXT. So once we get to episode 5, then we'll be good enough for Big E. Because Big E, 3 ain't enough. He needs 5. That was his whole gimmick when he was NXT champion. He pinned people for 5.
Ha!
Ha! So, like usual, wrestling has happened.
Yeah, last night.
Quite a bit of wrestling. Last night, Saturday night.
Friday night,
Wednesday night, Monday night.
Wednesday night again.
There's been a lot of wrestling.
Yeah.
The pay-per-view I was most excited about was Impact's Slammiversary.
The pay-per-view I was most interested in was WrestleMania 25.
Interesting.
I think that was the best pay-per-view I watched this weekend.
That's the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania.
Yes. We'll just go with it.
Yeah. So Slammiversary was a pay-per-view that happened, and a lot of people were really excited to see who could possibly show up as part of Slammiversary. It was an event shrouded in mystery.
What's 3CE doing in the Impact Zone?
He started as EC3 in the Impact Zone.
That's the joke.
Yes, but the Good Brothers have aligned themselves with Eddie Edwards,
The new TNA
the new Impact World Champion.
Oh yeah, Moose is the TNA heavyweight champion.
TNA champion.
I forgot that they were two separate things.
You know, I was reading. So the title they're using now, for the Impact World Championship, actually is a new one they had to get because Tessa Blanchard won't give them back their title unless they give her $150,000.
I'm just saying, there's a universe in which they were setting up a storyline between Moose and Tessa Blanchard, and I'm mad that that's never gonna happen now. Because imagine Moose versus Tessa Blanchard. That's like Brock Lesnar versus Ricochet levels of, so it's gonna be a 2-minute squash match and not a 1-minute squash match.
Moose is just Brock Lesnar with the charisma of Ricochet.
So Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley is Brock Lesnar with the charisma of Simon Dean. You know, from the Simon system.
He
was a jobber with a character back in like 2005.
Remember Funaki? That's a jobber from 2003.
That is a jobber from 2003. I remember it because he was on SmackDown.
Remember Kung Fu Naki?
wish I didn't.
Indeed.
Speaking of Impact, you are looking at the proud owner now of one Impact Plus subscription.
And you were looking at the owner of that dartboard. Guess which one I probably would want to be friends with.
It's obviously the guy who has an Impact Plus subscription. I mean, how else are you going to watch your favorite Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Sting moments?
Who's going to forget their favorite time when Austin Aries is actually suicide? Or, Victory Road 2011.
Stating the direction of his career.
Or Victory Road 2009.
Ah, yes, not 2011, 2009.
Or Victory Road 2007.
Or Victory Road 2008.
Or Victory Road 2010.
I just learned that the number for Slammiversary isn't the number of Slammiversaries there's been, but just the amount of years Impact has existed.
And the amount of Slammiversaries there have been.
No, because it was this past Slammiversary was Slammiversary 15, but it was like the 7th Slammiversary.
Let's talk about a promotion people actually like.
Ah, yes. So, ECW.
Hey, I watch ECW, like actual ECW.
Eddie Long doesn't count.
No. I watch like Chris Jericho versus Chris Benoit in ECW.
That happened on SmackDown. Don't even.
That probably happened on SmackDown many times. That probably happened in a steel cage and in a ladder match at, like, I don't know, Vengeance?
Yeah, probably. Something like
or
that. Or
like Armageddon.
I watch ECW for Sheamus O'Shaughnessy versus
Jobber. Versus Jamie Noble.
Versus Jamie Noble.
R.I.P. Jamie Noble.
He didn't die.
Yeah, but his career sure did, because that was his last match.
You know whose career certainly died?
Rey Mysterio.
No, just his vision. No, fucking Lance Storm. Because he had shut down his wrestling school to go be like a producer in WWE, and then he was there for 4 months, and they just fired him.
Furloughed.
No, he's gone.
Oh, he's gone?
He's gone. He put for the first time in so many years, I'm unemployed. And I was like, oh, Lance. Lance Storm was really called boring by everybody during his time in the W. His time up in New York, as some people would say. Have you watched the new Being the Elite, Micah?
I watched the opening bit and then I shut it off promptly.
Was that with the opening bit? Is that the bit with Gallows and Anderson?
That is the bit from 2016, I guess.
Yeah. Some good shit, I guess. So, Micah, let me ask you. When you play SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 GM mode, who is your favorite person to push? Because I've been playing with Jesse today, and I've been pushing this trio that I call the Job Squad 2.0, and it's Sylvain Grenier, Chris Masters, and Heidenreich.
Carlito
is my Intercontinental Champion at the moment. I promise you that we kept the high-profile people. This isn't my two top stars are the tag champs and not the world champ or mid-card champs.
That's cool.
Thank you. That's Carlito Caribbean cool to you.
I spit in the face.
Apple free.
Yeah. So, you want to talk about Extreme Rules?
Does anyone want to talk about Extreme Rules?
It's better than Hell in a Cell.
It certainly was a show that, I liked it. But but it really was a B pay-per-view.
It really was Roadblock End of the Line 2016.
It really was what Fastlane always ends up being.
No, remember that time where, like, it was like John Cena versus Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin versus AJ Styles?
Yeah, no, I remember.
That was a good match.
That wasn't okay.
Remember Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose at Fastlane?
That was at Fastlane. That was a good match at Fastlane. Do you remember Triple H versus Dean Ambrose at Roadblock?
Yes.
That was a good match.
Do you remember Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman at Fastlane 2017? The bad one.
Was that the one where it was like the 10-minute rule?
Yeah.
Was that the one that was just Chris Jericho versus Jungle Boy?
No. Because it wasn't a draw. Sami Zayn won.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the one where Goldberg won the Universal Championship for the only time.
Oh, no. He sure did win that title.
He only won it once, too. It's crazy.
He's not won it once, unfortunately.
No, I don't
Goldberg
reckon...
has won the world title at WWE more times in his most recent run than when he first, debuted.
Yeah, I don't recognize that reign.
What, the World Heavyweight Championship reign?
No, the Blue Universal one.
Well, it happened. It existed.
I don't recognize it.
Goldberg was he champion longer? Was he champion longer?
Yeah.
For the Blue Universal
Yeah,
title
because
reign?
that happened in late February, and then he lost it in early April.
Yeah.
In this one.
Yeah. God, he sure did pin the Fiend.
Only the top people ever pin the Fiend, like Seth Rollins and Goldberg.
Ah, yes, an elite group that someday, after gimmicks are diluted so much, will be joined by the likes of Xavier Woods.
I think that he should have TJP's old gimmick.
I watched Xavier Woods be a good wrestler today on Impact Plus.
Oh, as Austin.
As Consequences Creed.
Yeah.
It was like when he was first debuting and stuff, and he was in that weird X Division title match.
He dresses up in red, white, and blue stuff, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. He just he also just kind of dances. He really lives the Ernest the Cat Miller / Brodus Clay gimmick.
God, this just sounds bad. I'm so glad that I don't watch Impact.
It was an interesting match. It also contained Black Machismo and Curry Man.
Okay, but Jay Lethal is the best part of TNA Impact Global Force Wrestling.
I mean, Curry Man was fun.
When does Cheeseburger win the Universal Championship? When do we just stop caring about that belt?
We'll stop caring about the Universal Championship after Otis loses it.
I don't think Otis is even gonna cash in. I think he's gonna cash in next Money in the Bank.
The person who has was gonna cash in at Extreme Rules.
I think he's gonna cash in the Money in the Bank, next Money in the Bank, on the person who wins the Money in the Bank match, so he can have it for another year.
That's funny. I thought he was gonna cash in at Extreme Rules.
On Braun Strowman?
No, I thought he was gonna cash in on Dolph Ziggler.
That would have been awesome, though, if Otis comes out of nowhere during the... while Bray is... when Braun is, on the thing, Otis comes with, a fucking ref in his briefcase, and he's just, strapped to the chair, and he can't fucking do anything.
Right. And he's just hey, Braun!
Hey, Tucky, look what I got.
Or Otis rolls Braun Strowman up while Braun is, gaggling about Sister Abigail, Alexa Bliss.
Yo, is Bray Wyatt trying to be a cuck for Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman?
Bruh. I can't believe they threw in Alexa Bliss, of all people, into that match.
Hey, she needed to do something on a pay-per-view, I guess.
She was being Nikki Cross's more popular friend.
Hey.
No, that's the gimmick. She's the more popular friend.
Look, Ma, I made it. Ma.
Look, Ma, I made a friend. Her name is Alexa Bliss. Bowling for Soup wrote a song about her.
Ma, look, it's Alexa Bliss, Ma.
Ma, look.
Ma. Ma, look, it's Alexa Bliss, Ma.
Ma, it's Alexa Bliss.
Ma, she was a SmackDown and Raw champion, and she's a women's tag team champion, Ma. Ma.
Ma.
Ma.
Ma, she was the valet to Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy, Ma.
Ma. Ma, she can do that thing with her arm, Ma. Ma. And if you don't get that joke, you should watch our other podcast.
Which, is that going to come out Saturday again?
I don't know when it comes out.
Because, like, it depends on which one of these comes out first.
Yes. Probably the one, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Ma, Otis has the money in the big briefcase, but he can only have it for a year, Ma.
Ma, the hacker hasn't hacked SmackDown anymore. I think he got arrested.
Ma, what if the hacker is just Vince McMahon, Ma?
Ma, I'm watching this pay-per-view where Brian Kendrick won the WWE Championship.
Ma, I'm trying to watch a podcast, but these two little bitches keep taking a Ma joke, Ma. Mustafa!
Do you think Justin Roberts ever looks at himself in the mirror and goes, and All Elite Wrestling Champion, Justin Roberts?
Do you think he looks at himself and he's just like, and Cody Rhodes' best friend, Justin Roberts? Do you think that he does that whenever he's setting up his friend for a blind date? He's like, introducing your date for the evening. She stands at 5 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at none of your business. She is a former runner-up for the Wilden Middle School's 6th grade chess championship. Please introducing Elizabeth Johnson.
Can you imagine Justin Roberts?
Sorry, Elizabeth Johnson.
Can you imagine him working at like an adoption agency and being like, your parents for the evening?
For the evening. And your parents for until they give you back.
Coming from Austin, Texas.
Coming from Seoul, South Korea. Have on their channel.
Weighing in at 1.5 felonies.
They have committed 3 acts of violence this year. This fiscal year.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah, you got so loud that that it stopped getting louder and started getting softer.
Dear John Moxley, if you're hearing this, please beat the shit out of me with a kendo stick.
Oh my god, literally? Oh my god, I would do anything if, like, Cody Rhodes would just give me a crossroads for eternity. I would just keep getting up. I would just be like, do it again, Cody, do it again!
God,
Give me a crossroads!
now to choke slam me.
God, I would like Goldberg now to give me a jackhammer, if you know what I mean. Like the finishing move that he can't do, but I think that I would be small enough that he could do.
Who knows?
Do you think Justin Roberts does that for, like, movies that he watches with his wife? He's just like, introducing your movie for the night. It is a 2010 Academy Award nominated movie introducing the Michael Bay directed movie Transformers 2 Age of Extinction.
Can you That's for the regular podcast. Enough non-wrestling talk.
Yeah, why are we doing...
Oh man. So Monday Night Raw is tonight, and apparently it's being rewritten as we speak.
I believe it.
Yeah. Apparently they have to make some big changes. Because Apollo Crews still can't wrestle.
Do you think Apollo Crews has coronavirus?
I think it's possible.
I don't want to speculate, though.
I don't want to speculate either. You know who I do think has it, though, is Otis. Because he hasn't been on TV recently, and he's usually with Mandy Rose, and Mandy Rose was hanging out with Lana, and everyone Lana has ever come in contact with in the past 2 weeks has gotten COVID.
Yeah, Lana and Mandy Rose are, like, on each other's TikToks more than, like, my bedspread is on my bed. Which, like, still is rare, but still.
Oh, man. Can you imagine what WWE would look like if COVID, like, didn't happen? Like, first off, people like Gallows, Anderson, Heath Slater, they would all still be in the company, probably.
I don't know about Heath Slater.
Actually, I'm pretty sure it's just Heath now.
Yeah, but... Interesting. Because would the Revival have been released?
Yes, they would have left no matter what.
Because they got released on my birthday.
Yeah.
And that was a good birthday present.
Yeah, fuck the Revival.
Yo, fuck the Revival. Oh, and bleep the bleep.
Fuck the Revival. You know what I just remembered is we don't have to record as much on this part because we recorded a whole review of the Royal Rumble 1993.
Oh, are you splicing these two together?
Yeah, this is going to be like that episode.
It's going to be one big episode?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Welcome to Devoid Wrestling Reviews.
Yeah, welcome to We Have a Fan?
Yeah, somebody reached out to me and asked if we could...
It was us. It was our group Facebook.
Alright, you're in a town that nobody but you and your partner care about.
Micah, I was literally driving when that message was sent. I saw that message was sent when I got
And I was driving too. I was the driving force behind this channel.
That's not how that works. I'm editing that out. I'm editing out you praising yourself.
Good luck editing an entire video. Anyways.
So, we were asked to review, I'm assuming, one of this guy's favorite pay-per-views.
Or maybe he just hates it because, like, I get that. It's the 1993 Royal Rumble pay-per-view.
Yes. I had to watch this one because I conveniently stopped my watch through of every Royal Rumble pay-per-view at 1994.
Yeah, and I had not seen most of the matches on this card.
Yes. There certainly are some matches.
So, let's run through the matches. There was a dark match that involved Doink the Clown, which I didn't see because it wasn't televised, but, you know.
I'm sure it was good because Jim Powers was in it.
But the first real match was the Steiner Brothers and the Beverly Brothers tagged.
Don't know the Steiner Brothers. That's Rick and Scott. None of the other Steiners were present.
Yeah. And it made me feel good because I was just like, oh, this is where the Lucha Bros versus the Young Bucks feud comes from. Because, like, brothers versus brothers. It's just a continuation.
I didn't know that I've already seen FTR versus the Lucha Bros.
It's crazy.
Isn't it crazy how Scott Steiner invented high-flying wrestling?
Okay. We'll get to that. So... this match, I gave a solid, and you can edit this if you know how to, a 2 out of 4.
I'm just gonna write no. No, LOL. When you do that.
2 out of 4. Anyways,
That's 2 out of 4 stars.
yeah, no, not stars. This is not stars. This is just my personal rating.
This is, pinfalls.
Sure.
We'll explain why later in the review.
Sure. 2 out of 4 pinfalls. All right, so like this match, it definitely happened. It wasn't.
The next match?
No. This match.
The Steiner's match.
Yeah. This match definitely happened.
It was. I mean, the Steiners are good.
Right.
They're gonna be good wrestlers, whatever they do.
Right. It takes you a second to realize, oh, Scott Steiner is a good wrestler and just isn't insane.
Yeah, this was back when Scott Steiner was, like, no question the greatest wrestler in the world. And he was being held back by that fucking dog that is of his brother.
Oh, Rick Steiner.
Sorry, Dad, because that's my dad's favorite wrestler.
Which you can hear about in
Devoid Wrestling 1.
Yeah. My favorite line from the night comes from this match where Bobby the Brain Heenan says, "Why is he wearing earmuffs?" Which is one of the funniest things ever for the headgear being worn by Rick Steiner.
Yes.
That
Corey Graves wishes he could be like Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Corey Graves' Twitter wishes he could be Bobby the Brain Heenan. So, do you want to just go to the next match? Because this match just kind of happened, and there was a lot of amateur wrestling, and it was pretty good. There was a lot of wrestling psychology. Ever heard of it?
Yeah, it's what tag team wrestling was before God decided that there needed to be some crazy person jumping off of a ladder by the name of Jeff.
Yeah. This was, like, towards the end of, like, the golden era of tag team wrestling.
Was, like, right before WWE took, like, the biggest downfall of all time.
Yeah. So then there was a small package promo revealing the history of Michaels and Jannetty, which I mean, everybody knows.
Everybody knows the history of Shawn Michaels.
Tommaso Ciampa smashes Johnny Gargano, breaking up DIY.
My favorite moment they showed of that package was Shawn Michaels super kicking Stan backstage, and all the papers go flying.
Oh yes.
Yeah. It's impressive how they included the Saudi Arabia match a good 20 years, a good like 30 years before it happened.
It's crazy that they had that WrestleMania entrance in the white tuxedo. So this match is like kind of like not gimmicked, but like the whole like storyline of this match is like Sensational Sherry isn't like choosing a side.
Yeah.
And like so she comes out and like Sensational Sherry definitely looks I forgot the look of Sensational Sherry. I don't want to say anything because Sensational Sherry might be somebody out there's favorite manager.
I mean, yeah, but so is Vicky Guerrero.
Yeah, but Sensational Sherry, like, she's great, but she is just JV Miss Elizabeth.
Ooh, yikes.
So Marginetti comes out, big pop. Shawn Michaels comes out. Then he rips off his like golden pants to reveal that he's wearing the same like black and white, but mostly white pants of Jannetty, which I thought was really funny. Instead of like, oh, nice, like trying to trip him up, it's just funny.
Yeah, that's definitely something Velveteen Dream is like going to do in the future.
I can't wait. Velveteen Dream rips off his pants to reveal the Undertaker singlet.
What if he just ripped off his pants to reveal nothing?
Shocking! Velveteen Dream exposes his Clark.
He exposes his prince.
Yeah. So I just gotta say, Marty Jannetty has a better super kick than Shawn Michaels, at least in this match.
Wow.
Cause like, holy shit, that's a really good super kick.
Yeah. But better than Michaels?
In this match. I didn't say in general, just in this match.
That's fair.
Shawn Michaels also, for people that listen, the theme song is sung by a different person. Because
that's sung by Sherry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
and it's bad.
Oh, it's so much worse. It's like
so terrible.
it's really bad.
It's really bad. cause like literally the beginning is oh Sean.
Yeah.
It sounds like Sean just like tattled on Sherry, like elementary school. Sean just pulled her hair and she went, Sean.
Yeah. So I wrote down in my notes. Well, that certainly was a finish. Cause Sherry was just like, she wasn't helping anybody when like they were like outside. She wasn't helping anybody else. And then randomly she like gets in the ring, takes off her shoe, and like tries to hit Shawn Michaels, but Michaels ducks and it clocks Jannetty, and then the referee is like bumped too, and like good acting, by the way. And then like instead of doing anything else, like I don't know, siding with Michaels, Sherry's just literally in the corner, distraught. She's just like, I didn't mean to. And then Shawn Michaels' Sweet Chin Music's Marty Jannetty count him, and then Sherry runs to the back. Like, it just kind of happens.
It really is. The medium powers explode.
Yeah. It really was the Marty Jannetty of angles.
I just have to say, I think Shawn Michaels was the Marty Jannetty of the Rockers, considering how good both of them are at wrestling. I think Shawn Michaels was the Jannetty of the Rockers.
And then she runs back, and then Mean Gene Okerlund tries to have he tries to have an interview, and then a brawl ensues. And then, at least on my end, they just like kind of cut back to Heenan and Monsoon, and they're just like, oh, doesn't that suck that Mean Gene was knocked out? And it was just like, wait, what? That would have been like the most interesting thing on the pay-per-view so far. And for
like, damn, sucks, bro.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And for anybody that's wondering, I gave this a 2.5 out of 4.
2.5 out of 4.
The next match, woof, it's Bam Bam Bigelow versus the Big Boss Man, and no, that's not the same person.
Only one of them has main evented WrestleMania.
So in my notes, I have Haas Wrestling right here. Oh wait, it's Haas Wrestling.
It's Haas Wrestling before Haas Wrestling was like Keith Lee and Dominic Dijakovic.
Yeah. I wrote down Bear Hug Rest Hold can't be an entire match, can it? Because, boy, is it just a lot of, oh, I'm going to hurt your back. No, I'm going to hurt your back. And then Bam Bam Bigelow's back is being worked on so hard that he can't, like, do a suplex. And, like, I was just like, oh, is that a botch or is that, like, a not good suplex because his back is hurt? But he wins anyways.
He sure
with a diving headbutt. And this match, like, didn't even seem like it was 5 minutes. Like, it was just, like, not a good match.
You know, what WrestleMania was this right before?
93. Would have been before WrestleMania 9, because they do talk about...
Oh.
They do talk about it in the Royal Rumble match, yeah.
Never mind. I was gonna say maybe they're building towards the match with, what's his name?
Lawrence Taylor? No, that's WrestleMania 11.
Yeah. Yikes. That happened 2 years after this?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Wow, and now joining us is our good friend James to talk about his favorite wrestler, Razor Ramon / Scott Hall, and his match against Bret Hart, which is the next match for the WWF Championship. What's up, James?
Hey, how you guys doing? I am so honored to be on this program. I am the resident Scott Hall expert, if you will, and this match is really fun in the sense that, you know, I am more well-versed with Scott Hall during his NWO days, but watching him as Razor Ramon, seeing him in the shape he's in, it's a really fun flashback, and you also see some offense in there that he doesn't usually break out in his later years. For example, you're going to see one time they're on the cement outside the ring, and he has Bret Hart ready to do a follow-away slam, but he doesn't. He just takes him and does a bunch of knees to the ribs. And so stuff like that is something you usually don't see in the later years because his knees were probably in fairly bad shape. But it's cool to see him very young, just being Razor Ramon.
Yeah, I mean, you can totally see why like Vince McMahon wanted to push him. Like he looks, he really just does have the it factor along with the look. Like he has this little promo beforehand. I'm not sure if you got to see that, but like him talking and like you can totally just be like, this guy seems like he could be a world champion, and I'd believe that he's kind of like a precursor to Drew McIntyre, like somebody like with that kind of build. Because Drew McIntyre and Razor Ramon at least 93 Razor Ramon have similar builds and are very athletic.
Yes, I would agree there. And Scott Hall has so much machismo.
Oh my God.
Razor Ramon
He's so hot, isn't he?
I would love to see a match of Drew McIntyre and like in his prime Razor Ramon.
I would see like 98 Scott Hall versus Drew McIntyre.
Oh, 98. Yeah.
98.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But TNA Scott Hall.
I think James won.
The band Scott Hall.
The band. Getting the band back together.
Yeah, I mean, in the first like couple minutes of this match, I was trying to write notes. I couldn't. I was enjoying the match so much. Like I was just having a good time. Like it's the most fast-paced match on this card by so much.
I mean, it's Bret and Scott Hall. Like
yeah, but like
going to be the best match.
Yeah.
And the thing about Scott Hall is, say what you will, but in his prime, he did two really good things. He threw one of the best right hands in the business, and he either taking it or giving it.
No way Jose wants to have a talk with you.
And secondly, he can run the ropes really well at this point in time. He loves to do that Irish whip, as most wrestlers do.
It is the best move that makes zero sense.
Oh, we'll talk about an Irish whip that happens later in the night, which is not good at all.
You'll actually see this is one of the few matches that like psychologically makes sense, because the early part is just Bret Hart picking apart Razor Ramon's leg. That's most of the early part, and I'm like, wow, if you were like actually gonna fight someone, that's a really smart strategy.
Especially if it's, Scott Hall.
Yeah, and like Scott Hall's legs are like bigger than me.
Yeah. And weaker than frickin' a level 1 Pokemon.
A Pidgey, if you will.
Kevin Nash's quads.
Oh,
no.
I would say rip, but they probably.
James, look up before and after photos of Kevin Nash's leg surgery, and what his legs look like after just like a little bit of healing, because it's amazing.
Wow.
Like, he has legs again.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I will check that out.
Yes. Hey James, do you still have that phone background that I made you on your phone?
Hold on.
Can you please show the podcast your phone background? It's kids in the hall, but it's just Scott Hall.
4 levels of Scott Hall. We have NWO in the middle. I believe that's NWO on the left. This is like early NWO, peak NWO, Razor Ramon, and then TNA Scott Hall that's trying to hide his out-of-shape body with a leather jacket.
Oh wait, did you not notice, James?
Oh, Bullet Club.
It's Bullet Club Scott Hall, which never happened.
And then you just have, Heartbreak Kid and Kev in the background.
Yeah, as tag champions, by the way.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Oh, Derek sent that to me, like, at this point, probably 3 weeks ago. And it's still there. It's so good.
It's when I started
Mark for Scott Hall.
It's when I started fucking around with Photoshop. And I was like, this'll be funny.
James, would you say that, talking about Scott Hall, would you say that he is in the upper echelons of WCW World Champions, or is he closer to, like, not Vince Russo David Arquette levels, but like more along the lines of like Kevin Nash levels.
Okay, I have to put Scott Hall right there with Kevin Nash in the sense that both of those guys, right, they are not nearly as bad as Vince Russo or David Arquette.
Right.
Because Vince Russo and David Arquette came in and
should not have been champions.
So you know how Vince McMahon brought in the NWO to be like the poison of the WWF?
Yep.
Vince Russo was the poison of WCW. That's what ended up happening. McMahon sent Russo in to kill WCW.
Oh my! Don't say that you believe that.
I honestly, that would be I could totally see it happening too, and just having an inside deal. But
absolutely.
Well, I mean, your boy Scott Hall believes.
Say Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, right?
Yeah.
They're the reason WCW took off, but they are also the reason it demised, because the culture that was put in place was to push down young talent and to push up aging talent, like to name a few, Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan, and they took a lot of big name free agents, and they didn't really build anyone original other than Goldberg. I mean, you saw all the wrestlers that flew over to WWF, Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, to name a few.
If I could interject, I would say that I know that NWA and WCW, like NWA transformed into WCW and then like also broke away. But I would say that Sting is kind of a WCW original because Surfer Sting and like 98 Sting are very different.
Yes,
I mean, Buff Bagwell.
Booker T.
Yes, there are a lot of really. I'm talking about from the Monday Night Wars era. I'm not too well versed with people from before that to be like the 493, because I believe Sting was probably made a little bit.
Sting was been like
DDP was also a big WCW original.
Yeah,
guy.
and DDP. I mean, DDP is in better shape than I'll ever be now. Like.
He's in better shape now than he was then.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, he started wrestling at like 37.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I would say, like, upper echelons of, like, WCW champions are, like, Sting, Ric Flair. Honestly, Hogan, because he made it seem bigger. Goldberg. I mean, like, there is, like, echelons of, like, where world champions are because of like how they make the belt bigger. And I just don't feel like Scott Hall made he seemed like he would be a really good like WCW World United States champion, because that was like not important, but like they did call it like the world, like it was like the heavyweight United States championship. I don't know why I keep saying world.
Scott Hall has never won the top title in any promotion he's been in, and to me, it's kind of a shame.
Except
but
WCW.
Also, I think it just speaks to the fact that throughout his career, his one downfall was he was an extremely talented guy that had his demons and ultimately just could not be trusted or depended upon. I think if he was able to be a little bit more dependable and a little bit more trustworthy, I think a promotion would have flew high with him. He's got such a good mind for the business, but ultimately his demons took him down.
James, if you're gonna have to rate this match out of 4, 0 out of 4, 0 out of 4 being like, I wouldn't want to watch this in prison, and 4 out of 4 being like I want this to be replayed in my head all the time.
I would say this is a solid 3. This is above average. I would not call it a match that you need to put in your essential playlist or one of the top 25 greatest matches of all time. But it's a good match.
Yeah.
It's fairly well paced. The psychology makes sense most of the time. There's a lot, near the end, there's a lot of just quick pinfalls.
False finishes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finishes,
I wanted to talk about the finish a little bit before you leave, because I thought the finish was kind of weird, because it was all those flipping pinfalls and then into the sharpshooter, and it kind of worked, but it kind of didn't.
Yeah, in the whole match, you hear Gorilla Monsoon, or Bobby Heenan, both of them, they're just talking about how Scott Hall's legs, or Razor Ramon's legs, are just too big to put in the sharpshooter. And he finally gets it, but it's off some weird, almost sunset flip, if you will.
Yeah.
It's off one of those. But this is a really fun match, and I'm sure anyone watching is going to have a fun time.
It's a bright light in a pay-per-view that is sort of towards the beginning of WWE slowly falling down. It's like a bright light in one of the only good pay-per-views before WrestleMania.
Yeah, James, because I'm not sure if you know this, but this is right before WrestleMania 9. Hogan leaves this year. This is when
also Hogan wins the title at WrestleMania 9.
Yeah.
Really?
This is also the, like, I'm not sure if it's still going on, but like the steroid scandal is kind of looming in the background of WWF.
Yes.
So this is kind of like not make or break, but this is kind of like a to show the fans and to show investors, because they weren't on the stock market yet. Like, we're serious about, like, we're changing our ways. And I think having Bret Hart versus Razor Ramon, two guys who, let's be honest, they are naturally built. And I think, and a lot of the matches on here are like Bam Bam Bigelow and Big Boss Man, pretty large fellas. Shawn Michaels and Mario Jannetty, also pretty slim builds. And the Steiners versus the Beverleys, like amateur wrestlers who just have that build. Like, this is like a pay-per-view in which it really is showing, like, we don't need like the Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, like steroid out muscles. Like, we can have like good chain wrestling.
And correct me if I'm wrong, at this point in time, is this sort of the like new Hogan build, if you will, where he's like kind of thinner? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
96, he's thinner.
Yeah.
in this one.
Yeah, he's thinner. I think at WrestleMania 9 it's like his first appearance in a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, James, do you know how WrestleMania 9 ends?
You would have to give me a refresher on that. I couldn't tell you.
All right. So, spoilers to the result of the next match. But the main event is Bret Hart versus Yokozuna for the WWE title.
Yes.
And they have a match. I'd say it's definitely a match. It's kind of a squash match, isn't it?
No.
No, but like Yokozuna wins and is like, "Yeah, I'm the big bad guy," and celebrates for like a minute. And then Hogan comes out and he's like, "I want a title match, brother."
Whoa, you forgot like a big portion of that. So Bret Hart is going to win, and he has Yokozuna in the sharpshooter, and then Mr. Fuji, who's Yokozuna's manager, throws salt in the eyes of Bret Hart, which blinds him, which then Yokozuna turns into a win. And then Hulk Hogan comes out for his friend Bret Hart, because that's a relationship that's been established before. And he's just like, "Aw, you're my friend." And then Mr. Fuji's like, "Hogan!" That's enough out of that, because Mr. Fuji speaks English. Like, I don't know why.
Mr. Fuji's like, "Hulk Hogan," and he's like, "Oh, sure, I'll have a title match right now."
And then he literally,
I just got done a title match. Let me please face a fresh Hulk Hogan that hasn't wrestled in almost a year.
No, because he had a match earlier in the show.
Yeah. It's just, it's literally match, boot, leg drop, 1, 2, 3, Hulk Hogan. Hooray!
Yes.
It's outside!
It's Hogan wins, lol.
Oh, that's such a Vince move. Just pushing someone that no one wants to see.
Exactly.
At that point in time.
So anyway, how'd you like that new Baron Corbin skit on SmackDown?
Alright. Well, James, thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you very much for having me. I wish you boys a wonderful time with the rest of this pay-per-view, and I wish all the viewers fun in watching this very fast-paced, action-heavy match between Razor Ramon and Bret Hart.
Well, thanks, James.
Wow, wonderful.
After the Bret and Razor match that we just talked about, Bobby Heenan just storms off so he can go introduce the debuting Narcissus Lex Luger. And all I got for this one is Luger should not talk at all if Bobby Heenan is going to be his manager, because Bobby Heenan can talk very well and Lex Luger cannot.
You're half the man that I am, and I got half the brains that you do.
That's Sid.
Oh, fuck. Same thing.
Honestly, when I saw him debuting, not like later Lex Luger, when I saw him debuting, I was just like, I can see why Vince McMahon wanted to make, like, this guy.
Yeah.
This guy.
It's this guy.
Because this is the year that Hulk Hogan leaves.
Yes.
So.
Can I tell you something that I'm totally ready to be embarrassed by? When I was younger, I would always see pictures from the first Monday Night Raw, and I didn't know who Lex Luger was, and I thought it was Chris Benoit.
No, Chris Benoit probably would have won the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 9 if he looked like Lex Luger.
No, Chris Benoit certainly would have been in a singles match.
But maybe that's for a different review.
Yes. Where insert person here is in singles action.
Triple H and Shawn Michaels compete in a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship.
My favorite is Rhino competes in singles action for just like an episode of SmackDown, where it's very clearly Rhino is not the star here.
So let's talk about the Royal Rumble match.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
This match kind of honestly, I thought it was going to be a shorter Royal Rumble match. I did not expect it to go over an hour.
Did you expect Bob Backlund to go over an hour?
No.
I was like, holy shit, why is Bob still in the match?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Bob Backlund was recently a like the WWF champion.
This was like Bob Backlund that lost to Diesel, right?
I'm pretty sure this is when he like returns after being in Japan.
Yeah. This is that Bob
Yeah.
Backlund.
So he and Ric Flair start out, and like I've been watching a lot of WCW, NWA pay-per-views from like the 80s, and like Ric Flair's a good wrestler. Like for people who are just like Ric Flair should not be he's too old to be on the Mount Rushmore. Like there's a reason that Ric Flair is like so revered, and like
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
James appeared.
We don't have to say that. Don't even do that. We just have to continue what we were saying.
Sorry about that. My computer cut out.
So, I'm pretty sure I was talking about Ric Flair somewhere. But anyways.
Yeah. So we're at the Royal Rumble, and it's Ric Flair and Bob Backlund.
Oh, yeah. So, Ric Flair is, like, pretty good at wrestling, I'm pretty sure I was saying. He's just pretty good. And then I wrote down, oh, it's Papa Shank. Nope, there he goes. Because Papa Shank goes literally in and out. And then I wrote down, I never liked the Berserker, because I never liked the Berserker. The Berserker is the WWF equivalent of the Shockmaster. It just doesn't work.
Oh man.
And so Giant Gonzalez comes out, but he doesn't immediately attack the Undertaker. He like stands in the ring, and he's just standing there. But he's not like doing a Rock, like I'm looking at the crowd and I'm looking at the camera. He's just staring at the Undertaker still. And it's just like, come on, do something. I literally wrote down, why is this lasting so long? And then he starts attacking the Undertaker with like right hands and then chops that are so bad I think that I can do more damage to the Undertaker. And he chops him, and then Undertaker just seems like he's just like, well, enough of this shit, and like does like kind of like a flip over the ropes after like a weak ass fucking chop. And remember when I was talking to James about Irish whips, because Irish whips, Giant Gonzalez can't do one. He like whips him into the steel barricade, and it's just really bad. It's like that's like one of the first things you learn in wrestling school, which this guy clearly didn't go to because he was from WCW. Yo, I love WCW though. WCW is really good. And then it's still going on because the match continues because Bob Backlund's like knocked out of the ring, and he comes back, and Undertaker is just there, and then Paul Bearer comes running out, and he's like, ah, Undertaker, ah! And then Undertaker like can't even walk back because he's been beaten up so badly. But when I say badly, I mean like bad. Like it's.
Just to confirm, Harvey Wippleman, in his best Santino Marella impression, won the WWE Women's Championship on January 31st, 2000 from the Cat and lost it to Jacqueline.
Okay, well, at least he lost it to like a regular person.
I mean, yeah, but also this was 2000, so Jacqueline lost it like a month later to Stephanie McMahon.
WrestleMania 2000, you gotta love it. And then, I mean, the match just kind of still happens. The match really isn't interesting until Randy Savage is like number 30, which like, if there were to be a surprise entrant, I probably wouldn't have guessed Randy Savage was going to be in the Royal Rumble match at 93. I would have thought that he would have been like in either a high profile match, a world championship match, or maybe not in this point in his career, but like maybe Intercontinental Championship, because this is only like, this is not even a decade removed from Steamboat Savage at Mania 3.
This is like, is this after he was on commentary or like right before he was on commentary?
This is like right before.
Yeah.
And then he does, and then
this is the reason why I said we're gonna use pinfalls out of.
Yeah, because Randy Savage beats up Yokozuna, and like it's just them, and then he does his diving elbow drop, and like you're just like, oh shit! But how's anybody gonna eliminate the Big Show from the Royal Rumble?
He tries to pin Yokozuna.
Yeah, and they really are like, you have to go over the rope, because I'm not sure if this is before Shawn Michaels like big like skinning the cat. But, like, it's clearly that you have to go over the rope to win.
Yeah. This is, like, it would make sense if the Rumble had been going on for, like...
a year or two.
But, like...
This is, like,
the first Rumble was in 88. Right?
Yeah, this is, like, the 7th installment. And, like, I think Randy Savage has been in a Royal Rumble before. Like, that's the problem. And so...
Let me check that.
Yeah, go for it.
Let me check that while you talk more about this.
I'm just gonna talk about the finish of the match.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Because this is like some DDT shit where Yokozuna just like bench presses Randy Savage, and then he goes flying over the rope, and Yokozuna wins.
Which, by the way, Randy Savage competed in the previous year's Royal Rumble.
I knew it because I looked this up beforehand, because this is like so famous.
And the year before, he technically got eliminated twice because he jumped over the top rope after eliminating Jake Roberts.
Is there some?
And then just like went back into the match.
Is there just some storyline that I'm not aware of, that like Randy Savage doesn't know how the Royal Rumble works?
I think that's the joke, is that Randy Savage doesn't know how the Royal Rumble works. He was in it the year before.
Yeah, so Yokozuna wins, and
what do you mean he knows?
And according according...
The year before, sorry, Randy Savage was scheduled to be in the Rumble, and he just didn't show up.
Oh, I think it's clearly a thing. Yeah. I'm not saying that, like, Yokozuna is, like, in replacement of Andre the Giant, but they really needed, like, a Battle Royal type match where, like, how is anybody gonna lift the fat kid?
How's anyone gonna eliminate the Big Show?
I already made that joke. But, yeah. And so I gave this match a 1.5 out of 5. Out of 4. I gave this match a 1.5 out of 4. So
yeah.
Overall, I'd give this a 2 out of 4.
I'll give it a. I will give it a. I'll give it a Randy Orton Roman Reigns on Monday Night Raw out of 4.
I'll give this a Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy on a pre-show of a Big 5 pay-per-view out of 4. So thank you for watching our review of the Royal Rumble 1993. Yeah. Join us.
Travel back in time to where we recorded the other part of the podcast.
Yeah. If you want to tell us what to review next, don't forget to email us at specificallydevoid@gmail.com, or you could also tweet us at Devoid Podcast, or Instagram message us at specifically Devoid. Thanks for watching our review.
Thanks. Big thanks to James for joining us on that and talking about his favorite wrestler of all time, Scott Hall.
But in this instance, it was actually Razor Ramon. And I would like to make a retraction. Scott Hall has never won a world championship in any promotion that he's been with. He won the WCW Heavyweight United States Championship.
Yes.
He did not win the WCW Championship or the NWA Championship. Remember when New Jack stabbed a 17-year-old in Massachusetts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an ECW show.
That's the reason that ECW didn't go to pay-per-view for like a whole year and a half.
Yeah.
That's why their first pay-per-view was called Barely Legal.
Have you watched the Dark Side of the Ring about New Jack?
I've seen like all the Dark Side of the Rings. They're so good.
They're so good. I love the New Jack episode. My dad kept laughing because he was like, holy shit, this guy's insane. New Jack threw a guy off of something on purpose, trying to kill him. Like, during a wrestling match. Like, New Jack tried to kill a guy in the same way that Owen Hart died.
Jim Cornette's like, yeah, you gotta love New Jack. I mean, he commits.
Yeah, he commits murder.
And speaking of murder, thanks for listening to the podcast.
We hope you've enjoyed it. I don't know what this episode's called yet. Is it going to be called Rest in Peace, Jamie Noble?
Who's to say? You'll know before we do. But until next time.
Bye.